The palace gates were unusually quiet that morning. Not the usual murmur of early staff or the soft rustle of royal guards, but a tense silence that seemed to press against every gilded wall, every chandelier, every marble step. The corridors hummed, not with footsteps, but with whispers. Whispers that carried secrets capable of shattering centuries of royal decorum. Sunlight filtered through the tall, arched windows of Buckingham Palace, casting long, gold-tinted shadows across the polished floors. They stretched like silent witnesses to history, to power, to duty, and now to betrayal. A single letter appeared, almost out of nowhere, its wax seal embossed with Camilla's unmistakable crest. The kind of seal that, once broken, could shake the very foundations of the monarchy. For moments, the palace seemed suspended in time, waiting, and then the press had it. Within minutes, chaos began its silent march through the monarchy. Prince William was the first to receive the letter. He held it carefully, reverently, yet his hands trembled. Not from the weight of the paper, but from the weight of the truth it carried. Breaking the seal, he paused, feeling a deep, sinking sense that the world as he knew it was about to change. Each line, each word, felt like a blade cutting through the centuries of ceremony, tradition, and carefully constructed public image. It wasn't a rumor or a whisper of scandal. It was a confession, an unvarnished glimpse into the private turmoil of those he had been taught to protect, to respect, to honor. He read in silence, pacing slowly across the ornate room, the echo of his polished shoes on marble like a distant drumbeat, marking the rhythm of impending crisis. Camilla's words were raw, intimate, written in a way that left no room for misinterpretation. They spoke of fear, resentment, isolation, and a slow-burning anger toward King Charles, a resentment buried beneath decades of public smiles and ceremonial gestures. William's heart ached as he recognized it, not just as a royal scandal, but as a human tragedy. For the first time, he felt the monarchy's weight not as a shield, but as a cage. Outside, the palace was a storm waiting to erupt. Phones rang endlessly in hurried, clipped tones. Courtiers whispered urgently behind closed doors. Journalists gathered in tense clusters, cameras poised like predators circling the golden gates. The palace, once untouchable, now appeared vulnerable, fragile, exposed. Every attempt at secrecy only fed suspicion. Every delay, every unanswered question, every closed door amplified the looming sense of collapse. Advisors scrambled, staff were interrogated, and senior royals were instructed to remain silent. But silence in this storm carried a new weight: suspicion, mistrust, and fear. William summoned Princess Anne and Catherine for a private meeting in a quiet side room. The sunlight of the early morning replaced by the soft, flickering glow of antique lamps. The tension pressed against the walls, thick and almost tangible. Anne, ever pragmatic, broke the silence first. William, duty is meaningless without honor. Silence may protect the crown, but it will destroy the soul of the family. Catherine nodded, her voice measured yet firm. The truth will surface, one way or another. We must guide it carefully, or the palace will implode. William's jaw tightened. Memories of his mother, Diana, flooded him. The lessons she had left behind about honesty, courage, and the perils of concealment. And now, decades later, he stood on the same precipice, staring down the weight of history. When the press conference came, the world held its collective breath. Cameras flashed, microphones extended like probes reaching for truth, and William walked to the podium. His steps were steady, his face composed, but inside, a storm raged. The first words, when they came, were deliberate. Yes, he declared, his voice steady but burning with emotion. The letter is real. A collective pause swept over the media. In that instant, decades of royal protocol shattered. The carefully curated image of perfection, of an untouchable monarchy, lay in ruins. The world was witnessing something it had never seen: vulnerability, raw truth, and the unvarnished human side of royalty. Camilla's letter was more than words. It was a confession. She spoke of isolation, hidden resentments toward Charles, alliances formed in secret corridors of power, and subtle nods to Diana's enduring legacy. The palace was no longer a fortress. It had become a battlefield of whispers and hidden truths. Investigators traced the leak to someone inside Camilla's inner circle. Their reasoning was chillingly simple: the people deserved the truth. But for William, it was a betrayal. Loyalty had been weaponized. The palace walls seemed to close in. Shadows in hallways now felt like eyes. A second, older letter surfaced. Addressed to Charles privately, it revealed the roots of Camilla's grievances, words of regret, isolation, and choices made during the transition of power, leaving scars both within the palace and across the family. Charles's reaction was immediate: shock, fear, and a desperate need to protect not just his crown, but his family. Late at night, William read the second letter alone. Candlelight flickered across the ornate walls, shadows stretching across the room like silent witnesses. Each line tore at the illusion of unity, at the careful balance of ceremony and duty the monarchy had maintained for decades. For William, these letters were more than evidence evidence of scandal. They were a call to honor his mother's memory. Diana's private journals reminded him that truth must breathe again, even at great cost. By confirming Camilla's letter, he was not rebelling against the crown. He was confronting a legacy of silence. Anne and Catherine, behind him in quiet counsel, understood the weight of his decision. William's choice, lauded by the public, left the palace fractured, and Charles isolated, torn between defending his wife and preserving the monarchy. The leak unleashed a media tempest. News outlets dissected every phrase. Analysts debated hidden motives. Social media erupted. Outrage, sympathy, conspiracy theories. Across Britain, heated debates raged. Was it betrayal, courage, or a calculated move? Every angle exposed a fracture in the monarchy's carefully maintained facade. Television anchors speculated endlessly. Could this mark the beginning of the end for Charles's reign? Or is William ushering in a new era of transparency? The palace struggled to maintain control. Every decision became magnified, every statement scrutinized, and every reaction analyzed in the court of public opinion. For the royals, every passing hour felt like walking a tightrope over a precipice. Then came the final letter, Camilla's most vulnerable confession, intercepted before it could be delivered privately. The opening line chilled the palace. I loved him, but I wronged her. Her words were hauntingly sincere, revealing guilt, exhaustion, and the impossible weight of being both loved and vilified by a nation. At last, the monarchy's human side, flawed, fragile, conflicted, was exposed. Charles retreated from public life for weeks. Camilla stepped back indefinitely. William resumed responsibilities quietly, carrying grief, resolve, and the weight of historical truth. Inside Buckingham Palace, every whispered conversation, every cautious glance became a reflection of a monarchy learning to breathe again, not with perfection, but with honesty. William walked the palace gardens at night, candlelight and moonlight mixing to illuminate shadows of the past. Anne reminded him, softly but firmly, duty without honor is hollow, William. Remember that. Catherine, standing by his side, added, balance is our strength. Family and truth must coexist. For the first time, the monarchy seemed human. Flawed, yes, but resilient. And the world understood. No secret, no betrayal, no letter could ever fully conceal the truth again. The palace at sunset, shadows stretching long and golden across the grounds. A reminder of history, legacy, and the enduring burden of truth. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned. The royal family story is far from over.